The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 38. Just a guy named Joe. Our mildly terrific tale opens in a crowded neighborhood gym, where we find a not overly bright habitué named Joe Smith, indulging himself in one of his ever-present day dreams.
Yes, sirree. No matter what anyone thinks of me now, I'm gonna be the champ someday. I'm gonna really be somebody. I know it.
Good thing you know it, Smith. Nobody else does.
That guy's a real panic.
But laugh at me now. You won't laugh later. Mr. Tompkins, I've asked you to manage me for months, and I'm never gonna stop asking until you say you will. Now, how about it?
Okay, kid. If you want to get your head handed to you, that's your business. I'll book you a match. It's the only way I'll get you off my back.
And during the first minute of the first round.
Wow, that takes care of that.
Next, Joe Smith tries the wrestling game, with very similar results.
Hey, you wasn't supposed to fall out of the ring for another 10 minutes.
I must have slept.
What a bum.
But his manager, Tommy Tompkins, felt a twinge of pity for the game Joe Smith, and so...
Look, kid, the fight game just isn't for you. You're not tough enough. You haven't a killer instinct. But I did land you a job as a costumed extra in a TV fantasy film.
You tell him, Tompkins. As a fighter, he's a great actor.
Joe Smith. What a chump.
Slugger, when Rock Hudson hears about you becoming an actor, he'll probably give up.
Smith may become a star. They're always looking for another Bela Lugosi.
Don't let 'em ride ya, kid. Anything's better than wanting up Punchy. At least as an actor, that won't happen to you.
If you ask me, he's punchy already.
Let's go, Joe. Those loudmouths aren't happy unless they're knocking someone. Forget about them.
How'd you ever get me a job as an actor, Tommy?
Well, it ain't much of a role. They just need a big guy to wear some kind of nutty monster costume and look dangerous.
Even a nobody like me can do it, huh?
Sometime later, at a bustling Midtown studio.
Feel like a fool in this crazy getup. What do I do now?
It'll be a cinch, Joe. You don't even have to say anything. The director will show you.
Okay, we're ready for the monster. Where is he? Someone get that blamed monster in here. Come on, we've got to wrap this up today. Oh, there you are. Look, here's all you have to do. Just walk up to that equipment and smash it, and get it right the first time. Remember, you're supposed to be some kind of alien monster out on a rampage. So, try to look evil and deadly and all that kind of jazz. Okay, scene 11. Take 1. Roll 'em.
Quiet on the set.
He's doing fine. But why not? Any halfwit could play an easy part like that.
Everything's made of balsa wood. A 6-year-old kid could smash this stuff with one hand. If only it was real, and I really was as strong as I'm pretending to be.
But when you're a hard-luck Joe, as our hero seems to be, trouble can pop up anytime.
Look out! That debris is flying too near the arc lights. Uh-oh.
Heads up! It's falling in a puddle of spilled chemicals from the previous scene.
Watch it! Those wires are still live! Switch off the current! Hurry, man! That extra is getting the full impact of the shock!
Okay, the power's off, but look at that guy! He's out cold! Somebody better get a doctor!
What's happened?
No! He's starting to come around now. He'll be okay. We doused the current in time.
Take it easy, Joe. You'll be okay. I guess you just weren't cut out to be an actor either, Jed.
I feel like I've been kicked by a mule. My head, it's aching to beat the band. I was better off in the ring.
We'll use that scene. It'll be sensational. Good work, whatever your name is.
Then, a few minutes later,
I still feel kinda strange. Nothing hurts me, but I feel sort of different.
Well, any change will be an improvement. Just rest up for a while.
and now, while Joe Smith is resting, we just remembered that you might also be interested in the activities of Peter Parker.
Holy smoke! Has old Jameson got another new secretary? She must be the third this week.
I quit. I won't work for that old skinflint another second.
And today's only Tuesday.
No wonder he can't keep a secretary. A man with a temper like his ought to be in a cage.
Something tells me I picked a bad time to come to the Daily Bugle to ask Jolly Jonah why he hasn't sent me my check yet for the news photos I sold him last month. Oh well. Hold it there, Parker. Hold it. It's your fault that Betty Brant quit her job here. The best secretary I ever had. It was because you had some kind of argument with her. Darn it. I should have left a few seconds sooner. I haven't been able to find one good secretary since she walked out of here. They all want coffee breaks, pension funds, profit sharing. Sorry, Mr. Jameson. I can't stop to talk now, but I'll come by again sometime. Honest. You Frankie kid. If Betty Brant doesn't come back, I'll get out of here. Phew. He's about as cheerful as... Say, that's Ned Leeds. I thought Betty had eloped with him to California. What's he doing back?
Hello there, Parker. How are you?
I guess I'll live.
Have
Tell
you
me,
been seeing
how's
much
Betty
of Betty?
getting along?
How is she?
Oh, I thought...
No sense keeping it from you. I asked her to marry me. She wanted to see you before she'd give me an answer. Then, I had to dash to California on business before I could see her again. Now, I return to find she's gone. I want to know why.
Then you'd better ask her.
Don't give me any of your lip, Parker. I never did like you, and I don't like you now. Did you make Betty quit her job? And where is she?
Get your hand off my jacket, Romeo. I'm not interested in Betty Brant. If you can find her and marry her, be my guest.
Think you know more than you were telling, and I'm gonna...
Leach, let go of him. You're a reporter, not the village bouncer. And you, Parker, use some of that energy taking pictures for the Bugle from now on.
You haven't heard the last of me, Parker. I'll find Betty and learn what happened when I was gone.
Okay, put on your little Sherlock cap and start looking. I've got things to do. So Betty didn't elope with him. Then where did she go after we decided to call it quits? The poor kid. I hope she's all right.
How can you be so cold, so uncaring? Does Betty mean nothing to you?
Shut up. Perhaps I should have told Betty the truth about myself from the beginning. Everything might have been different if she knew that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But I can't be sure. No one can predict a female's reaction. I almost hope that Leeds does find her. It might be for the best. What chance would we have for happiness with the secret I must always carry with me?
But now, let's change our scene before there's not a dry eye left in the house.
Okay, fella. If you're feeling better now, we'll start shooting the big fight scene.
I feel alright. Let's get it over with.
Remember, you're a monstrous alien being, and you want to destroy those innocent space explorers. So tear into them as though they're your worst enemies. And don't worry, they're all well-trained stuntmen. They won't hurt you.
It's funny. I feel as though they are my enemies.
Quiet on the set. Scene 16. Take 1.
Wow, he's a natural. He's making every punch look real.
I do hate them. I hate everyone. Everyone always laughed at me, but they won't laugh anymore.
That guy's great. He's another Lon Chaney.
They always said I'd never make a good fighter because I didn't have the killer instinct, because I didn't have a fighter's heart, because I didn't get mad enough. But they'll never say that to me again. Not ever.
I don't even think he's acting. If you ask me, he's gone berserk.
Should we break it up?
Not on your life. This'll be the greatest fight scene I've ever filmed.
But then, minutes later,
Wait, come back. Our cameras aren't set up to take pictures in the street.
Cameras? Who cares about cameras? All I want to do is strike back at everybody. Make them all sorry they laughed at me. I'll show them all. Before I'm done, they'll realize that Joe Smith is somebody. But I don't get it. I don't understand. Where did all this strength come from? How can I lift a couple of cars so easily?
and walking down that very street, we find...
Of course, being a reporter, there's a good chance that Ned Leeds might be able to locate Betty.
Watch it, fella. Don't walk in that direction.
Run! The street isn't safe with that costumed powerhouse back there.
She's so alone. No family. No friends. If only I knew she was okay. What if she needs something? If anything's wrong, I'll always feel it was my fault. Say, what's going on here? Wow, I don't know who that is, but I guess it's web spinning time. It looks like some refugee from a Halloween party running amok. I'd better slow him down with some webbing until I learn who and what he is. Geronimo! Right on target.
Something dropped on me. Some kind of thin, sticky thread.
Whoa! Don't tear that if you can help it, huh? That stuff doesn't come cheap.
Someone dropped it on me in order to trap me. Whoever he is, he'll never get a chance to do it again.
Uh-oh. He's more than some nutty troublemaking clown. Only someone with real super strength could have broken that webbing. Look, chum, we're having a population explosion with costumed characters around here. Why don't you find yourself some other playground?
Spider-Man, I should have guessed. I'll put you out of action with one punch, and then... Oh!
I don't know who you are, sir, but you've got definite manifestations of a deep-rooted antisocial fixation.
That's it. Hark! Hark! The more you talk, the angrier I get, and the angrier I get, the stronger I get.
In that case, if it's all the same to you, I'll keep my mouth shut for... Ugh! He can punch, as well as snap webbing. I wonder who he is. Look, while we're still on speaking terms, what's your name? I like to know who it is that's knocking my block off. Won't talk, eh? Then I'll just have to keep saying, hey you. Actually, I've never met a modest costume scrapper before. Usually they start off by saying, nobody can defeat the purple panty waist, or, you fool, don't you realize you've no chance against the human windshield wiper? Boy, you may be a mass of muscles, but when it comes to small talk, forget it. You must figure if you can't beat a fella by fighting him, you'll bore him to death with your silence. I've never fought anyone like him before. It's as though he isn't quite with it. But how did he ever become so strong? Whoosh! That'll teach me to philosophize instead of keeping my mind on my business. Aw, come on, let go. I can bear being beaten, but this is too undignified. The wackiest part about this is I don't know who I'm fighting, nor what we're fighting about. I don't even feel that he's particularly trying to harm me. There's something much bigger than Spider-Man that's bugging him, and somehow, I've got to learn what it is.
My head. It's clearing. The strange mist is beginning to fade away.
Joe, I'm glad I found you. Come on, kid. You've got to get out of here.
I don't know what came over me.
No time for guessing games now, Joe. You're in a jam, but I'll stand by you, even though I ought to have my head examined for it. Come on.
I won't forget you for this, Tommy.
I kinda wish you would. You're a born loser, kid.
And by the time Spidey returns to the scene of battle, he finds...
He's gone. First time I've ever owed a fella some wax, without even knowing what he calls himself.
At that very moment, in another part of town.
Thanks for the lift, Harry.
Don't mention it, Pa. Can Flash and I borrow the car for the rest of the evening?
Sure, why not?
What a great guy Mr. Osborn is.
But a few seconds later...
I thought they'd never drive away. Now's my chance to make a quick change. No one is apt to notice in this gloomy, darkened corner. There. Now with my identity safely disguised, it's time for me to keep my little appointment.
And so...
You called us together to do a job for you, and you won't even tell us who you are?
That's right. My own identity is of no importance.
At first I thought he was putting us on, but he isn't.
Nope. He means it all right.
But it isn't possible. How can we do it? What chance would we have of finishing off Spider-Man?
You can see, I'm prepared to pay handsomely to ensure that Spider-Man never interferes with me again. To prevent any double crossing, I've cut these bills in half. You take one half now. I'll deliver the other half when the web slinger has been put out of action. You know I'll pay off, since my half is worthless to me now anyway.
It's a deal.
Handle it any way you want to. Alert the entire underworld to the reward I'm offering. Spider-Man can't elude all of you.
With all that bread waiting for us, he ain't got a chance. What's he done to you that makes you so anxious to get him?
That's my business. Just you handle your end of the deal. And don't ask too many questions.
Relax, my friend. Spider-Man is as good as kaput.
And now, while we all clear our heads and try to understand what's going on here, let's quickly visit the campus at Empire State U.
Hi, gals. Wait up for us.
Look, Gwen. It's Flash Thompson and Harry Osborn. I know. The two charter members of the Let's Hate Pete Parker Club.
While just a stone's throw away.
Another student protest. What are they after this time?
Didn't you hear? They're protesting tonight's protest meeting.
It figures.
Hey, Parker. Not so fast. We can use another man to carry a sign. Come on. Join in the protest march.
Not me. I haven't got time. Besides, I've nothing to protest about.
Nothing to protest about? What are you? Some kind of religious fanatic or something?
What's the matter with you? Aren't you interested in saving the world? Anyway, it's an excuse to cut classes.
And maybe you'll get your picture in Newsweek.
Say, look who's over there with the marchers.
It's that lightweight Peter Parker. Wouldn't you know it?
She's not with them. Look, he's leaving.
Come on, Parker. If you join our protest meeting, we'll join one of yours sometime.
Sure. And if you've nothing to protest, don't worry about it. That won't stop us.
Forget it.
Your cousin likes Lawrence work.
Why, back to Squaresville, you rosy-cheeked reactionary.
I'd better cut out before I give them something to protest about.
Just as I thought. Parker, you're even too puny to carry a sign, huh?
No matter what Flash says to me, it's hard to get mad at him, even though he has no use for Peter Parker. He's one of Spider-Man's most loyal fans.
Don't you ever lose your temper, Mop Top.
Sure, but not when a big zero like you tries to goad me.
I don't get it, Flash. Why didn't you take a poke at him? I would have.
Well, he's still there. Go on, be my guest.
I'd be afraid of hurting him.
No matter what the others say, there's something so strong, so proud about Peter Parker.
Students, all together now. Switch scenes, switch.
I still don't understand what happened. What came over me, Tommy?
I don't know, kid, but try to rest, and then we'll see if we can figure it out. I think it had something to do with that arc light hidden in a puddle of chemicals. It set off some kind of electric shock that went right through you. At first, I was sure you were kaput. He fell asleep while I was yakking at him. He's really a good egg. I'd like to help him, but I don't even know where to start. What to do?
Meanwhile, at the headquarters of what might be called Hoods Incorporated.
Alright, you guys, pipe down. I want to tell you why I asked you all to come to this meeting.
Yeah, we sort of been wondering.
Speak louder. Can't hear you in the back.
Okay. Now clam up, all of you. A certain party has offered a reward to the man who finally beats Spider-Man. Reward big enough to put you on Easy Street. Permanently. What do you say to that?
Spidey's no pushover. How big is the reward?
How does 20,000 greenies sound to you?
20 grand.
What are we waiting for?
Let's go.
Behind the ivy-covered, time-hollowed walls of ESU.
Look at Parker trying to make like a scientist. My old man forgot more about science than he'll ever know.
Seems to me I read about Osborn's father somewhere, but can't remember where. Well, what does it matter?
Then, the moment classes are let out.
I've got to get off by myself and change to Spider-Man. I feel too cooped up here. My head is spinning. I can't forget Betty Brant, Ned Leeds, that costumed muscle man I fought before, or Aunt May, and my schoolwork.
I can't help feeling sorry for Pete. I wish they'd all stop writing him.
And so...
I'll swing through the city and see what's doing. This is the one thing that always clears my head, chases the cobwebs away. But it looks as though it's gonna be a dull night. I haven't even heard a police siren yet.
Look, it's him.
We've struck pay dirt.
Let's tackle him from behind.
Yeah, we'll polish him off before he knows what hit him. Uh-oh, a bevy of baddies sneaking up behind me. Don't you gents know better than to try to surprise attack on a fellow with built-in spider sense?
Look out!
You needn't bother answering, of course. It was purely a rhetorical question.
How'd he know we...
Well, at least the evening wasn't a total loss. But what would make 3 cheap punks decide to jump their friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
And, as Spidey speculates over his fallen foes.
It's no use, Tommy. I can't sleep. My head's going around like a top.
Well, get dressed and take a shower, kid. Maybe it'll make you feel better. Then, we better go downtown and figure out what damage you've done. The only way to keep you out of the clink is to settle up somehow.
Everything I do goes wrong. I was born a failure. And I'll die a failure. I'm just a bum.
Don't say that, Joe. You've just had a lot of bad breaks. That's all.
I should have been champ. Do you hear? Joe Smith, champ. That's the way it oughta be, but it ain't.
For the love of Mike, you're just as strong as you were in the street before. Uh-oh, something's happening to him again. He don't even know that I'm here.
I can still be the champ. I'm big enough, and strong enough, and tough enough. And I hate 'em all. I still remember how everyone laughed at me. They said I didn't have a fighter's heart. Well, I got it now, and I'll prove it to all of them.
Now hold on, kid. You can't go out again. Not while you're like this. You've got to calm down first.
Show 'em who's a chump. I'll show 'em the kind of fighter Joe Smith is.
I can't stop him. He doesn't even hear me. Listen, kid. I won't let you do it. You only give in the more. Ugh.
Nobody tells the champ what to do. Nobody.
While in a neighboring area, more fun and games are now in progress.
What's made me the target for every cheap hood and gunny in town lately? It's like somebody suddenly declared open season on Spider-Man. I appreciate the fact that you've all volunteered to serve as my sparring partners. But I'd sure like to know why the sudden generosity. Well, I suppose you'll tell me in your own good time. After you wake up, that is. All done? They don't seem to build tough crooks like they used to.
And at that exact, precise, self-same split second, not that it would really make any difference if it was a bit earlier or later, a strangely garbed figure enters a crowded gym.
Remember me, you creeps? I'm Joe Smith, and I'm gonna roll up the living daylights out of the whole mangy pack of ya.
Okay, Canvasback, we all got a laugh out of your crazy costume. Now get lost!
Nah, let him hang around, Marvin. He kinda dresses up the joint.
Yeah, he's buddy as a picture in his new Sunday go-to meeting duds. I hope he really is looking for a fight. I ain't knocked nobody's block off in weeks.
Bet I'm looking for a fight. Come on now, who's gonna be first? Or do I have to pick my own victims?
Okay, sonny boy, you're asking for it. Step aside, you guys, he's mine.
I want first crack at him. Take your turn.
Just stay where you are, Smith. This won't take long.
You bet it won't.
Whoop!
I've been waiting for this ever since I can remember. I hate all of you punks.
Hey. Oh!
And now, we're sure it will come as no surprise to any loyal Spider-Phile to see Spidey swinging past the gym during the aforementioned Donnybrook. Or, how wordy can you get?
Hey, what gives in there? Sounds like a typical day at the Geneva Peace Convention. Well, how about that? Just the one I'm looking for. Doesn't he ever stop fighting? Gangway! Here comes Spidey. Please, don't embarrass me by your applause.
Hey, what a lucky break. Here's our chance to collect that reward.
What are we waiting for? Get him!
What's with you guys? I come here to help you, and you jump on me.
Keep after him. He can't fight us all off.
Don't bet on that, Tiger.
You're trying to interfere with me again. But I won't let you.
Now's our chance. Rush him. Come on, move. Stay with them, Joe. We'll split the reward with ya.
Oh no, I'm in this alone. You're all my enemies.
Reward, eh? Very interesting. I wonder who's the payer. Okay, boys, rest period's over. If you want me now, you'll have to fight for me.
The others are easy. You're the one I've gotta beat. Then I'll be the champ.
I was right about him. The poor guy hasn't got all his marbles.
Okay, it's sound effects time again. So hang on, here we go. And now, with one final pacow, we end our scintillating sound effects section, as Smile and Stan thanks you, one and all, for the brief breather you've allowed him.
Well, had enough, big fella?
The spats. I don't see him anymore. And I feel just like I always used to.
What's going on in here? We had a report of a fight.
What do you expect in a gym? Maypole dancing?
Very funny. Let's hope it'll tickle the judge, too. Hey, we've been looking for you. You're the character who thinks he's a one-man bulldozer.
I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
No, neither did King Kong.
Hold it, boys. I'll take care of everything. I'm his manager.
Manager? What he needs is a good lawyer.
Honey, boy, am I glad to see you.
I had a long talk with the TV people. They're willing to drop all the charges against you. Their technical experts said the electrified chemicals which splashed you caused you to run amok. But the effect should be wearing off soon.
I think they've worn off already. I feel like myself again.
But you haven't heard the best. They saw the first rushes of your film. You were sensational. They want to enlarge your role, sign you up for a long-term acting contract, the works. And they're taking me along as your manager.
I'm gonna be somebody. At last. Me, Joe Smith, an actor.
Hey, that's terrific, Joe. We always knew you had it in ya.
I ain't a stumblebum anymore. It's like a real miracle.
Since the TV studio is dropping charges and he's willing to pay for all of the damages, we won't be taking him into custody. How's about getting us in the movies with you, champ? Me, I always thought I was kinda the Cary Grant type.
I'm sure glad it worked out this way. I always felt he wasn't really a bad guy. At least I learned his name anyway. Maybe someday I'll be able to get a free pass to see him in a movie. Although, with my luck, they'll give him a nose job, change his name, and I'll never know who he is.
Minutes later, as Spidey makes his way through a nearby alley.
There he is. It's Spider-Man.
Aha! My cheering section's here again. Let's grab him before he can get away. All together, rush him.
We've got him now. He can't get past us. The alley's too narrow.
I've got news for you, eager beavers. It's you who can't get past me. Don't rush, boys. We've got all the time in the world. Just step right up.
That 20 grand is as good as ours right now.
20,000? Is that the reward offered for me? I wish I could claim it myself. Life is really a riot. Joe Smith causes all that trouble and winds up a big hero. I said don't rush. While Spidey, the poor man Sir Lancelot, always manages to wind up in Nowheresville. It's a good thing I'm not the hyper-emotional type. I'd probably have had a breakdown long before this. Sorry I'm depriving you of your reward bundle, fellas. But think of the money I'm saving you in taxes. Big deal, so I win another fight. And, as usual, I wind up with nothing to show for it. Even a blamed store window dummy sits there and grins at me. Go on, smirk. Sit there with your dumb-looking smile and your lifeless pan. The more I look at him, the more he reminds me of Ned Leeds. Know why I hate you, Leeds? Because you have the right to propose to Betty. The shadow of Spider-Man isn't standing between you.
A short time later, at the home of Mrs. May Parker.
I'm so sorry you can't stay any longer, Mary Jane. I'm sure Peter will be home most any minute now.
I'd so like to meet him, Mrs. Parker, but some other time, perhaps.
No sooner has the front door closed behind the visitor than May Parker hears a weary voice behind her.
Sorry I'm late, Aunt May, but I've already made dinner.
Peter Parker, you must have come in the back door.
Sure. What's the difference?
There was somebody to see you at the front door. Hurry, she may still be there.
She? Who was it?
Oh, Pshaw, we're just seconds too late. Isn't that a shame?
I don't recognize the car. Tell me, Aunt May, who is she?
Why, it was Mary Jane Watson, you silly boy. The girl I've been trying to have you meet for months.
Oh, For just a second, I thought it might have been Betty.
Shall I heat a glass of warm milk for you, dear?
No thanks. I'll just catch the late news on TV and then go to bed.
It has just been announced that Joe Smith has signed a 5-year contract with the International Broadcasting Network to star in a new superhero series. Mr. Smith, a virtual unknown until recently, was
Oh no!
reported to have fought Spider-Man himself to a standstill.
That takes the cake. Not only will he become a big star now, but I'll seem worse than ever. I'm too tired to watch the rest of the news, Aunt May. I'll say goodnight to you now.
Sleep well, Peter, dear. I'm glad you turned off the TV. Some of those news items can give a body nightmares.
Not much of that in my case. I only have them when I'm awake.
Next issue, the biggest surprise of the season awaits you. Enough said. The end.
Look out! Here comes Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there! There goes Spider-Man.